Welcome to Open Forum Discussion by Group 4. Our group was assigned to search for some example of social movement about LGBT community, and through searching in the internet, we found this movement entitled LGBT Social Movements. First, let's define what LGBT means. LGBT stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Lesbian is a woman who is attracted to and prefers intimate relationships with other women. Gay is a man who is attracted to and prefers intimate relationships with other men. Bisexual is an attraction to more than one gender. Transgender people have a gender identity or gender expressions that differs from the sex that they were assigned at birth. The main focus of this movement is a social equality for LGBT community.
LGBTQ community, also known as the LGBTQ plus community, GLBT community, gay community, or queer community, is a loosely defined grouping as a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and other queer individuals united by common culture and social movement.
General plans of action. Number 1. Demonstrate to people that LGBTQ people deserve respect from a normal group of citizens in our country. LGBTQ people deserve to be treated like how we respect others. They are just people that is being true to themselves, and we all know that nothing is wrong with that. Number 2. Encourage everyone that LGBT members can do a lot of things like a normal group of people. LGBTQ people can do a lot of things like normal group of people. We can't deny that some business that help us in our everyday living are owned by someone who belongs to this kind of group. Let's just give fair to them. All of them are of humans like us. There is no difference about it. Number 3. Advance the right of LGBT. Improve the way that public service work for them. All of us are all humans. We need to understand and help each other. LGBTQ people only being true to themselves and consider this as time where we give them fairness and let the society accept them. People in this group have rights like normal group of people do, so let's give the fair treatment and appreciate them for their very own personality because they did nothing wrong. They just want to be true and to live in reality.
LGBT community is a loosely defined group of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and other queer individuals united by a common culture and social movements. Society, where every lesbian's basic needs are met, the government to protect the interests and safety of the people instead of catering of the greed of a few. Government, this is one of the target group because it is important for the LGBT to promote their rights, and only the government can do this for them.
Strength is knowing what suffering feels like and learning to rise above it. It's about being kicked down over and over again and having absolutely no idea how you're going to get yourself back up but somehow always do. It's about believing in yourself so passionately that you're not afraid of facing the situation at hand. Strength is telling yourself that you are good enough, brave enough, and strong enough to overcome that obstacles. Because you can. It's realizing that you are capable of whatever you set your mind to. Strength is persevering.
In this context, said that every people should treat well even if they belongs to the other family they want, even if they can't stand in their own gender. We must treat every people the way how we want to be treated. We know that loving the same gender as you is wrong. But for me, loving is not about gender. It's not about what people think to us. It's all about accepting. Loving flow in a good way if you can accept every people in your own circle.
Branches of social science being used and why. Our Philippine government recognize LGBTQ people. In fact, it is one of the most sensitive issues raised during the presidential campaign. Some candidates agree with same-sex marriage while others disapprove for various reasons. Psychology can include LGBTQ issues. Some of our LGBTQ members have personal experience to share. When LGBTQ members decided to come out of their respective identities despite of prejudice, and discrimination, parenting and families, and identity development. Being a member of the LGBTQ community can help people to better understand the others. Sociology can help us better understand who we are, why we act the way we do, and how different aspects of society can impact our behavior.
Structural functionalism. This is the approach of social science that relate to the topic LGBT community, because it's a group of people that promoting their rights and beliefs in our society. Our sexual orientation and gender identity are fundamental parts of who we are, and neither should ever be the cause of discrimination or mistreatment. In addition to working with activists who represent a variety of identities and concerns, Human Rights Watch advocates for the rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender persons.
Now, let's have a simple analysis about this topic. What flag is it? This flag is a pride flag that symbolizes the LGBT right movements. Are you against or support in LGBT community? Why? Based on a poll research, 73% of Filipinos believe that LGBT should be accepted by our society. That survey was not the first to a survey's 2013 before. Last, are you familiar in a SOGI bill? SOGI bill is the Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity Expression Equality Bill, also known as the Anti-Discrimination Bill. For those who are not familiar with this bill, try to reach it out in the internet to gain more information and knowledge about the anti-discrimination law that is existing in our country. Before this presentation ends, we are Group 4 wants to leave you a simple reminders that
LGBT should be accepted because there is nothing wrong with their sexual preference. LGBT are also human, and we can't deny the fact that they are also contribution to our society. And also accepting their sexual preference is not a big deal in today's present time. They should be accepted with or without any condition. Because after all, we are equally created by God, so let's accept each and one another. LGBT should be respected because they are also human beings who need to be respected as well. They are also humans with rights that is also same with us. And besides, respect is something that is not hard to give because it should be nature to us to respect whatever your sexual orientation is. As long as you are not harmed by them and they give back the respect you give to them, they deserve the respect. LGBTQ people should be treated properly because that is all they want us to do as a normal groups of people to them. Treat them correctly and properly just as we treat people who are important to us. LGBT should never lead to discrimination or abuse. They do not deserve to be discriminated and to abused by anyone. Discrimination has no place here in this society, whether part of LGBT or not. LGBT are also humans. We should instill that in our minds that they do not done anything wrong. So never ever discriminate them.
That's all for our presentations. Thank you for listening.